How is everyone doing today? Welcome to the new people that are here. I'm excited about getting this going today, and I see we have a few new people and a few regulars. So welcome everybody. If you wouldn't mind really quickly putting in where you're from, and even if you want to put a little bit about yourself in the chat, that would be great. And then I'm going to get started in just a second here, I think. So what we're doing today is we're covering the newest update with MainWP 5.1, which has some really cool things. The rollback features is my favorite, and I think everybody else's favorite too. And I actually have pre-recorded a demo on that so that you can watch that, and then throughout the demo, you can ask questions, and we have people from the team that can answer your questions that you might have. And then after the demo is over, it's about 8.5 minutes, 9 minutes long. After the demo is over, if you have any other questions, we can go over that. And hopefully we won't have any more technical issues. And by the way, I'm from Northern California. I always tell people to tell us where they're from, and then I don't ever talk about where I'm from. So I'm in Northern California. So if any of you ever get into the Bay Area, San Francisco area, and you want to connect, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to, I don't know, go have a drink or or have lunch or something. It'd be really great to get some personal contact. So feel free to reach out to me if you ever get into the San Francisco area. We have a lot up here, so it's a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to start this video, and hopefully you will have good sound. This is the first time that I have actually done a live video, or I mean a pre-recorded video on the podcast. So we're going to give it a shot, and if you don't hear it, let me know right away, and I'll edit all the mistakes I make out in post for the YouTube video. Here we go. Just a second. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Office Hours. This is a particularly exciting week because it marks the release of our latest dashboard, MainWP 5.1. You can find a complete changelog in the WordPress repository. MainWP version 5.1 included several changes in the codebase for more efficient operation. For today's office hours, though, I'm going to go over some of the cool new features we've added. To start, we've implemented the Select Data Tables extension, which will allow you to select multiple table rows with the Shift plus Select action. By popular demand, we've added a horizontal scroll bar at the top of your tables. This means that you no longer have to scroll to the bottom of the page in order to scroll horizontally. And last, but definitely the coolest of all, we've integrated the rollback feature that was introduced in WordPress 6.3 to revert plugins and themes to the last stable version in case of update errors. We're particularly excited about this feature since we know it will make life easier and give peace of mind when performing updates. Once again, for a complete changelog, head on over to the WordPress repository and read up on all the details. First, I'm going to start with the simple additions. The first addition that I want to cover is the Shift Select data table capabilities. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to, instead of having to check these multiple tick boxes here one at a time, you can actually hold down the Shift key and select several. So for instance, if I were to select this first one here, as you can see the tick box goes up, and then if I go down to this bottom one and I hold the Shift key, then it's going to select all three of them. And then I can also hit the control key and deselect and do all of that, which is also nice. But it's really nice if you have multiple sites that you want to do changes to be able to hit that shift key and do multiple selections rather than having to go through each tick box and check. So it's just a little bit of a time saver there, but you know, every second counts. And so I think you'll really like that. And then the other thing that is really nice, and this one actually was by popular demand. I said that earlier. This is by several people suggested this to us, which is this horizontal scroll bar. We already had it at the bottom, but if you have hundreds of sites, that can be, a little bit difficult to go down and have to scroll left to right. Scroll to the bottom and then scroll left to right. So we've added this to the top. It's nothing complicated, but once again, it's another time saver, and we hope you like that. The next thing I'm going to show you is just a small detail that can help you when it comes to your settings. So in your settings page here, if you go down, you can see you've got all your settings here. And if you've made any changes that are different than default, you're going to actually see a yellow dot next to that, and that tells you that it's different than the default MainWP install. So for instance, if I set this to disabled, you'll see that dot goes away, and that just helps you really quickly to be able to tell what you've changed, what you haven't from the default. Okay, the next and coolest feature that I want to cover is the rollback feature, which we just implemented with MainWP version 5.1. This is a very cool feature, and I think you're really going to like it. What this does is it takes the rollback feature that was implemented in WordPress version 6.3 and it integrates it into your MainWP dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to run it, how to install it, and how to make it do all the things that you want it to do here. This first step that I'm going to show you only has to do with if you want to test the rollback feature. If you don't need to do any testing, then you do not need to do this step, which is to install the rollback plugin on your child's site. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to do that. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Plugins and install Plugins. And then you are going to type in the name of the plugin, and it is Rollback Auto Update, I believe. And as you can see here, this is produced by the WP Core contributors, and that's the one that you want. So go ahead and click on Install Plugin, and then select all. You're going to want to activate after installation, and then you can optionally choose to override existing installations. Since it probably is not installed already, you probably don't need to turn this on, but I turned it on anyway. Then I go ahead and install the plugins. And you are now able to do your testing. Now, once again, this is just for testing. You do not have to install this plugin if you are not going to do any testing. This will work within the core of MainWP 5.1. And now it is installed on my 3 sites here. So I can go ahead and close that. Next, I'm going to show you how to simulate the issue that might come up if you have to do a rollback and how it will look on your MainWP screen. Your MainWP dashboard. As you can see here on my child site, on one of my child sites here, I actually have an old version of Contact Form 7, and it shows that there's a new version available. One of the things that you can do in order to do your test is you can go ahead and you can click Simulate Failure. When you turn that on, what's going to happen is when you do the update, it's going to simulate a failure of that update, and you're going to see what it looks like on your MainWP dashboard. So now that I have turned on Simulate Failure, I'm going to go to my MainWP dashboard, and I'm going to go to Updates. After I do a sync, I've got 2 updates. That's because on the 3rd site, I actually do not have Contact Form 7 installed, so it's not going to show up here as an update. But what you're going to see here is you see that there are updates on both the Elven Workshop and the North Pole. Now, I've only turned on the Simulate update on the North Pole and not on the Elven Workshop. So if I go ahead and I select that and I do Update Selected, I could, of course, do Update All. And then proceed. Give it a second here to do the update. And as you can see here, what you're going to see is This one updated, and this one did not. This one detected an error with contact form 7 and rolled it back to version 596 to version 585 to ensure stability. So let's go ahead and close that down, and let's see what that looks like when we go here again. And it'll show this, that the North Pole still needs to be updated, but you're also going to see this arrow, this reverse arrow here that shows you that the update failed. So this is how it's going to manifest itself when you do an update on MainWP and you run into an error. So it did not actually do the update, as you can see here, and here's the latest version. So if I were to go back to the North Pole now, and I was to remove the simulate feature, remove the simulate failure, I can now try to update again, and this should go through just fine. And sure enough, it did. So now if I resync, there are no plugins that need to be updated, and all my updates are complete. So hopefully that will be a useful feature to you. I think it's very cool, and I know that a lot of people on the team were excited when we implemented this, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback from users. So I hope that you will also find this useful. Are there any questions? From the team, is there anything else that you wanted me to show since I have an audience here? Okay. Anyway, I've been playing with the release candidate on this for about the last, I don't know, week and a half or so. And it does seem, we did make some code-based changes as well, which seem to make things also run a little bit faster. I don't think it's my imagination. So, yeah, thank you, Boyan. Yeah, yeah, and correct. I think I just said plugins, but it also works, the rollback also works on themes as well. Um, so that rollback is, a little bit more peace of mind and can help you sleep a little better at night. I've actually spoken with a few customers who go through and actually manually update each site because they want to go in and make sure that everything works like it should. And this might alleviate some of that for some of you who do it, whose workflow includes doing it that way. Um, but yeah, I can see how this is just another way to give you that peace of mind and give your clients peace of mind, because not only are you doing backups, which is a peace of mind thing, but now you have the rollback feature, which I don't know. I always find it kind of a pain to have to go back and find the previous version and roll it back manually if something breaks. So this is definitely a time saver. And thanks again. And we will see you next week.